Hey YouTube, matches 860. Smoking the Friday Savinelli with Sir Walter Raleigh. Along the Farmington River. I so need to be out here today. It was one of those weeks. The beginning of the week, however, I got a really nice personal message on YouTube from a guy named Walter. Probably the nicest message I've ever gotten. Walter's a serviceman, was in Afghanistan, and was telling me that after a little bit of rocket chaos, he was watching one of my videos, and he enjoys watching my other videos, and I tried to write back to him, but apparently he's got his security settings so nobody can get at him. Anyway, Walter, thanks so much for that nice message. At the end of the message, he asked if I'd do a review of Sir Walter Raleigh. Well, sure, that's the least I can do. And got to tell a little story about how I got this pouch of Sir Walter Raleigh. You probably saw in the beginning the Sir Walter Raleigh display box that was meant to be in a brick and mortar store. Contained 6 pouches like this, and the storekeeper could cut along the dotted lines, and it formed a nice little display for selling the pouches. Well, I had an old guy living at the apartment complex that I manage, and he passed on sometime after 2000, and his son came in one day. He knew I smoked a pipe, and he asked me if I'd like the box of 6 pouches. Well, sure. So I smoked a pouch right off the bat. And at the time, it all happened about the same time that I was trying other drugstore blends. Found it very pleasant. So, of course, I hung on to the box with the pouches. Gave a couple pouches away and opened the others over the years, and this is my last pouch. When I decided to do this video, it occurred to me that this tobacco is at least 17 years old. Could be as old as 21 years, I'm not sure. There's no manufacturer or distributor listed on the box or the pouch. I did a little bit of history on Brown and Williamson, who originally came up with it, as well as Raleigh cigarettes. You might remember those with the coupons. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Today it is a product of the Scandinavian Tobacco Group. I kind of wish I had some fresh stuff to kind of compare, but I don't. Anyway, getting along with the review. When you open the pouch, you will notice it's a very dark leaf. With the sun in my eyes, I can't see my monitor, so I don't know if you can see this or not. But very dark leaf, which leads me to believe that it's probably some dark burley in there. Has that classic kind of fruity, figgy smell to it. The package says mildly aromatic blend of burley tobaccos. Doesn't say anything about Virginias, and I couldn't find anywhere that said there was actually Virginia in it, and I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't any in it. This is coarse cut, and about the best way to describe this, in my mind, it reminds me so much of Edgeworth. I think this must be topped really lightly with molasses. Slightly sweet, chocolatey molasses. But when I say it's lightly topped, it is lightly topped. The flavor of burley really, really comes through. And the other reason that I believe there's dark burley in it is because you get a kind of a spicy sensation in your mouth, almost like you had a couple of mild hot peppers. It's strong in that sense. But nicotine-wise, I think it's probably about a medium, because I'm satisfied with it after I smoke it. Smoke's cool, no bite, but you do get that sensation of a spiciness. If you like burley, you're gonna love this. And what else can I say about it? It's been around since 1927. Another one of the classics. Could I smoke it all day? Probably. But I would opt for something more like Velvet, which is a little lighter as far as the spiciness goes. Great outdoor blend on a cool day like today. Very enjoyable. Other than that, not sure what else I can tell you about it. comparing it to Haunted Bookshop. Again, the reason I don't think there's any Virginia in it is there's no taste of Virginia sweetness to it. And while this, I'm sure, doesn't have Perique in it, it does have a little bit of a snap to it, I think, from that dark burley that I mentioned. So it's another one of those classics you might want to try. And I want to thank Walter again for the message and for giving me a topic to discuss. With that, I'm going to sit here a few more minutes, but say goodbye to you now. Thanks an awful lot for joining me, and have a great weekend.